Hello. Welcome to our crib. Literally.
Literally. So, welcome to another episode of the making of. I have to make sure that I'm looking over there. Welcome to another episode of the Making of podcast. I'm Ashley Joves.
And I'm Brian Joves, and this is our couch if you're watching anywhere that has a video. So nice. Welcome to not the office where we normally record.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try something a little bit different today, being a little bit more laid back.
Well, the inspiration behind this was that awesome Netflix show that we started watching.
What
You don't want this, I think is what it's called.
I don't remember what it's called actually.
Oh, well, anyways, it's these two sisters who podcast and they do so from the comfort of the couch. So Brian's like, we should absolutely record on the couch.
Yeah.
I love our couch. So,
So we're on the couch.
so we're on the couch.
So if you're watching, we're sitting on our couch. Welcome to our couch.
Welcome to the couch. And what's new?
Well, we're all of a week and a half after retreat, I believe. 2 weeks, let's call it 2 weeks after retreat. And I think it's probably taking you about this long to be able to, I don't know, digest, process, be able to say anything. So, how'd it go?
I think that this was actually my favorite one. And I thought like the first two were amazing. And I obviously love wine country and I love the fact that it is near us. And, but Vail was an experience that was so different. And we heard from quite a few of the attendees that this was their favorite year also. So, how'd it go for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a very, very different feel, right? I mean, the first 2 years, Napa, Sonoma, wine country, going to a lot of different wineries, a lot of experience centered around obviously the wineries and that culture. Um, and Colorado's different. I mean, I think there's not very many wineries that I'm aware of. Actually, we did have a winery on at the ranch, but their
I
wine.
think, well, let's break before we get into the details. I think we should do like, well, do you want to start off with high low for the week?
High low for the week. Oh man, I'm not good at these. This is where you shine. How about you? Let's start with you.
Oh,
How about your high low for retreat week?
retreat week or just this
Oh,
week?
this week.
Yeah, like current situation.
Oh man, no.
Okay, well, my high is that, well, as much as I love retreat, it's a lot of stress and anxiety planning it, and just I feel like we've set the bar pretty high for ourselves, and to continuously want to top that. Um, so now that retreat's over, you definitely feel the high of like no stress, but it's also the low of, man, it was so much fun and just you don't get to do that enough, I think. Um, so I guess that's my high low. Oh, also, just getting into a routine again. I think that um, Vail kicked my ass in that my body hates elevation. At 8,500 feet,
8150.
um, I'd like to round to the middle.
Sure.
8,500. Is
Okay.
it not 8,500?
It's 8150.
Okay. Well, anything above 8,000, I think is a lot. And my my body didn't want me to sleep. I could barely breathe, barely like walking up the stairs. I have an aura ring. I'm sure if you guys have listened to my other episodes, I talk about this a lot, and it tracks my heart rate and sleep and heart rate variability. And it basically, like, my heart was like almost a flat line, like my HRV just didn't want to peak.
Yeah. And you weren't the only one. I mean, I think that was one of the common things. Obviously, I think we tried to prepare people. We had as much altitude sickness medication and
Yeah,
electrolytes
yeah.
and hydration and all the rest for everybody. But, That's really really high up there. And if you've never spent a lot of time up that high, I think it can be a little challenging. So I think there was a lot of people that didn't sleep well, a lot of people that were nursing some headaches.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of people were just also really hungover.
that also contributed to both of those feelings of
Yeah.
fatigue and
Yeah.
headaches.
You don't get altitude sickness, do you?
I did okay. I held in pretty well.
Oh, lucky you. No, so let's break it down. So, just leading up to the trip, so Colin and I, we flew out to Vail on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Left super early in the morning. Tuesday, I think we got into Denver around noon, and then we had a little layover there, and we flew on this commuter plane to Eagle Airport. Eagle Airport is a tiny airport. And so our plane, how many people? I felt like it
It's
held like
probably like
20 people.
no, it was probably like 60.
Oh my gosh, it felt so small. But there was a point in the flight where the entire plane just dropped and everybody on board screamed. And the person sitting next to me, like, clutched the wall next to her. So it wasn't just me that was terrified. I digress. Um,
So you guys made it in on Tuesday.
we made it on Tuesday, and basically Colin and I got settled. We had an early dinner on property at the Four Seasons, and I think that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we didn't do much for planning, and then the next day was when you flew in.
Mm-hmm.
How early did you fly out?
Oh man, I caught a 5 a.m. flight out of Sacramento. So, um, you know, woke up at 3 o'clock to get to the airport, which means I didn't very much sleep at all.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know, flying into small airports is always fun and interesting. And then you guys were nowhere near on time, so I got to sit out there and get a little suntan, waiting for you guys for 45 minutes after I landed. Thank you for that.
30 minutes. Well, okay, your plane landed early.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Well, you
United
called it.
always landing so early for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we got settled. I mean, there's some Costco runs to be able to get some supplies and try to get everything
Lots of
in.
protein.
Lots and lots of protein shakes,
Yeah.
and
And
then
seaweed.
and then it was really we didn't have all that much to do on Wednesday. You guys did a walkthrough with with your
Oh,
coordinator, and then spend a bunch of time at the spa.
I was going to say, Colin and I. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So they messed up my room at the Four Seasons, and Colin's such a beast. She basically wrote this email to the event coordinator and was like, hey, so that's not cool. We chose the Four Seasons because of your um, unreasonable hospitality, and XYZ wasn't it wasn't right. And we really know that you guys will make this right for us. And so the Four Seasons gave us some massages the next day. So thank you, Colin. And thank you, Maria from Four Seasons. So yeah, they just renovated the spa. It was like a $4 million renovation. And I'm pretty sure Colin and I both slept during our massage.
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like I ended up spending a lot of time in the spa between the sauna, the
And
steam
the
room,
cold
and the cold
plunge.
plunge. Very much became a cold plunge guy on
Yeah.
this trip. I don't think that's ever been something that I've done regularly, and spent probably 10 minutes every day. Me and Andy Tran hanging out, talking BS and freezing our tails off.
I don't know how you guys did that. I walked down the stairs into the cold plunge and I walked right back up. That thing burns.
Uh,
It's so cold.
you just need somebody to distract you, and so
Oh,
thankfully,
no, Colin was with me and Colin stayed in. I couldn't. The
okay.
sauna was really nice.
Well, then I guess I'm just tougher than you are.
Yeah, we know that.
All right. So we started getting everything together for the retreat, and finally held the welcome reception on Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, at
Uh,
Chasing Rabbits.
yeah, which was super fun. What a fun, creative space. It's kind of like a bar meets arcade. You know, chasing rabbits, so kind of down the rabbit hole, a little Alice in
Yeah,
Wonderland type theme. Really fun place. It seemed like everybody had a great time.
they
I mean, a lot of
loved the
lot of great
venue.
food. Obviously, you know, you introduce a bunch of great drinks and fun games for everybody. There's a lot of good conversations happening. So I think that was a really successful event for getting things started.
Yeah, and Colin and I, when we were thinking about how many people were going to come to the welcome reception, we kept thinking, oh, we'll probably get like 20 people. Almost everybody came to the welcome reception.
Yeah, it was very well attended. I mean, I think you know obviously you know getting in and getting settled, but everybody wanted to connect. Everybody wanted to meet everybody else and just get you know the festivities started. So it was a great way to kick things off, and I think it was kind of exactly what everybody needed in terms of just setting the mood for the entire weekend.
Agreed. Agreed. And then, so that was Wednesday night. Wait, no, Thursday, right?
Thursday night.
Thursday, and then first day of retreat. What did you think on Friday?
Friday was, I mean, what did I think? I mean, I thought it was amazing. So, the speakers on Friday were Scott Luna, Josh Scott, and then Ritter and Ramsey, and every one of them brought something unique. That's still, I think this is the amazing thing about the retreat is that we give the speakers a lot of leeway in terms of whatever wherever they want to go, but a little bit of direction in terms of you know the group and what you're kind of thinking for overall themes. And though they weren't at all the same, they all tied together very well.
Yeah,
And so I think
that's happened every year.
yeah, it's I think it's an amazing thing because it's not as though we structure it in a way that is, you know, you have to talk about this, you have to talk about that, but every speaker kind of flows right in. And obviously, you know, a lot of that's the people that you pick and you know the order that you decide to put them in. I think lends a lot of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, just an amazing way to start. You know, four incredible speakers, each with a very different style, but each you know inspirational, motivational, and obviously educational in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I obviously having been the third time that we have had Scott and Josh talk at the retreat, I think it's so cool because each time it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they're both so talented and so capable of connecting, of educating. And every time that they speak, I like learn something new about them,
Yeah.
learn something new about myself. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Oh, what'd you learn new about yourself?
I'm amazing.
Okay. 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 Moving on. Thank you for that very honest, truthful answer. No, really. Did you? You don't want to share anything?
I don't know. We'll get there later. What did you think of day one?
Day one was, gosh, I just want to do it over again. Day
That's
one,
that doesn't answer the question
no,
though.
it was so good. Like what you said, just from the start of the presentations to like the breakfast was amazing. Like what you said, every speaker is was so engaging, and everybody there in the room just felt like, yeah, like I see this, I am with you, like
Yeah.
everyone was in it.
Yeah.
Took a lot of notes.
Yeah. You know, one of the things talking to people afterwards, you know, tried really hard to get around and get feedback from a lot of the attendees. And I think it's amazing that I asked very honestly, I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody. Sorry, I'm telling people. Sorry, guys. I said, I'm not going to tell anybody who's your favorite. And it was really evenly split.
Really?
It was like everybody there, you know, there was something for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think there was a style that probably spoke to different people in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you had four distinct messages, four distinct styles. Um, but, you know, obviously with the main thing, focusing on growth, right?
Hmm.
Growing yourself, growing your practice, growing, into the human beings that we want to be.
Yeah. So after session one or session day one in the conference room, we had a quick wardrobe change, and were picked up by a bunch of buses that escorted us to Four Eagle Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, I've never been on a ranch before, and it was stunning. Like, I'm a big Yellowstone fan. I mean, to be in the middle of the Rockies and just have the bluest skies, the best weather. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't have asked for better weather.
Yeah. I think the only thing wrong was it was a little bit warm for everybody put on their
Everyone
flannels.
thought that it
Yeah.
was going to be a little chilly,
Yeah.
but we went higher up the
No,
elevation.
we went down.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
We probably came down about 500 or 1,000 feet. Um, so the temperature goes up. The sun, but we're still high, right? You're still seven
Mm.
thousand something. So the sun's still very hot. Um, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was probably a little bit warmer than I think most of us
Tired.
were anticipating because everybody put on their flannel shirts
Yeah.
or put on their best cowboy wear,
Yes. All of the, what is it called?
the Western wear,
With the
frizzles,
fr- fringe.
fringe.
Fringe. Who was your favorite cowboy?
Um, I mean, it'd be really hard to not give Brandon the greatest shout out in the entire world. That
Brandon
man,
and Brad, though.
those two own a character. And if you guys don't know Brandon Pryor uh, and Brad, I don't even know what Brad's last name is.
Tittensor. I'm totally sorry if I totally butchered your last name.
But they own. I mean, every year they've picked a character that they wanted to be for the event,
Yeah.
and kind of ran with it. And this year they were very dressed to the nines as the most ridiculous cowboys that you could possibly imagine.
Well, Brad is actually from Texas, so he said he actually owns that apparel.
I don't know if I buy that at all. I think he picked it up from a costume store and just was like, "Give me the most ridiculous cowboy outfit you can give me," and I think that's what he
Well,
put on.
they
But they
owned
owned it.
it.
They ran with it, and it was amazing. Um, and yeah, I mean, but I think everybody kind of got out there, put on their best Western wear. There was, whiskey tasting, wine
Mhm.
tasting, line dancing. Um,
So fun. So, okay, I think Colin may have thought that I was a little cuckoo for wanting line dancing. I'm like, no, I feel like that's going to be fun. And line dancing was so fun. We had so many people doing it.
yeah, no, it turned into a fantastic event. I mean, there was a couple of teachers that were walking everybody through the steps, and got it rolling inside the barn.
Yeah.
It was good. There was the bowl, mechanical bowl,
You
which
know what's impressive? How many people got on the dang bull? I wasn't sure if people were gonna.
I think like half of the people got on the bowl.
Did you get on the bull?
No.
I did not. Knowing me, I would have broken something. Yeah, I'm totally serious.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that got on the bowl, and then just a lot of people just hanging out and walking around the ranch. People went and saw some of the horses, and it was a little too hot to light a campfire, but sat
Oh
around a
my
fire
gosh.
as if or sat around the camp
Yeah.
as though there was a campfire.
It was, I mean, you have to picture this, guys. A bunch of us sitting around a fire with Adirondack chairs, looking at the mountain range and having goats and horses like surrounding us. It's,
As outdoorsy as you've ever been.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I could I'm like, I could live on a ranch. I could
You
not
couldn't
live
live on a
on a
ranch.
ranch, but I would love acreage.
You could
That's all I want.
you could totally go there at least once a year for a vacation.
And dress up as a cowgirl. Yeah. No, it was a good time. The food was a lot better than I was expecting too.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
I mean, at first they served chili and salad, and I thought that was actually the only food that they were going to serve
Oh, no.
because it was
Yeah.
because that was all that was out when we got there. And I was like, "Oh, they have a really big table, and they're only serving chili and salad." um, and then yeah, and then obviously the whole
Mm,
spread
the
came
whole
out, and
spread, and it was a lot of food.
as well it should be. You're on a ranch.
Yeah.
You gotta eat like a ranch hand.
We had brisket and Brussels sprouts and what else? Was there
Chicken and
cornbread?
salmon and
Yeah,
cornbread and
it was some
baked
grub.
potatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good old fashioned country. What the I don't know what they call a country
Mm-mm.
meal. We're not
I
from the
don't know.
country, guys.
We're not.
Sorry.
No,
That's about as country as we get.
that is, and it was amazing. And thank you for Eagle Ranch.
Yeah,
That was
no,
so much fun.
they did a great job. And so yeah, so that brings us to the end of day one,
Mm-hmm.
and then day two kicked off Saturday morning. You're trying to remember,
Try, wait, so that was Friday, right?
correct?
You forgot Matsuhisa.
The speaker dinner.
Yeah, we started last year. We started having a speaker dinner, where we invited the speakers and their significant others to join us in a dinner, and we
Um,
had it at my favorite restaurant in Vail. Because I've frequented it so many
yeah,
times.
you've been there twice.
Yeah, Matsuhisa, as in Nobu Matsuhisa, and oh, gosh, the food was so good.
Yeah, definitely did not disappoint.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's, you know, obviously we get by throwing the retreat. I think you know, we have this fun opportunity to be able to sit at the table with, you know, a bunch of absolutely amazing people, just sharing conversations and life and an
Mm-hmm.
incredible meal. But definitely one of my favorite parts of being, you know, of these retreats is that meal. You know, just getting to kind of hang out and relax. And sorry, guys, I know we're talking about something that you guys aren't invited to, but
Maybe
sorry.
if you speak at our retreat.
Or maybe at some point there will be a raffle in the future for somebody to join us at this amazing meal. Who
Mm,
knows? Maybe we'll see. So,
that would,
anyways,
yeah.
so and then Saturday we kicked off.
Saturday. So the breakfast was amazing again. I just love a good breakfast.
You really like talking about the food, huh?
I mean, have you met me?
So, if you guys didn't know, whenever we throw a retreat, meals are included.
Yeah.
And when we include meals, we're not including, you know, McDonald's breakfast sandwiches. As much as I love a egg McMuffin, I mean, this is, you know, Four Seasons, you know, brunch that's laid out as a spread. And what, I think day two, was that the Chilaquiles day?
I think so.
Chilaquiles and all, or was
Oh,
that
it's
the
just so
breakfast burrito?
good.
Anyways,
Anyways, I'm like
amazing food.
starting to salivate again. Um, okay, so Andy Myro, Dr. Andy kicked us off. I mean, kudos to her because I know that people went out or like late the night before, and she had the 8 a.m. slot, and I we did that on purpose because we really wanted people to attend
Yeah.
the conference. And Andy, if you're listening to this, you're amazing. I just loved hearing your story. And if you don't know who Andy is, she's been on the pod before, but she works at Appa Aesthetic, as in Dr. Michael Appa. She is the only woman dentist um, amongst their 14 doctors, I believe. And she is the head doctor in the Beverly Hills location. So she gave a speech that quite literally brought me to tears. I had to get up and leave the room. Like, I was getting super emotional.
Yeah.
I think that day in general was just super emotional.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the thing that's amazing about Andy is that, you know, obviously everybody knows her for her clinical prowess and just how amazing she is. I mean, she's got her own courses on teaching people how to do really fantastic, amazing cosmetic dentistry. Um, but you know, when she's at the retreat, like she's just a this amazingly open book
Mm-hmm.
that ends up making her even more inspirational.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's this amazing thing, right? Where she's, you know, we everybody knows that she's this incredible dentist and practitioner and teacher, and then she shares, you know, kind of the softer side of herself, And I think it kind of makes it even solidifies it even more in everybody's mind. And so that, which is a pretty, I think, a pretty impressive thing, showcasing that little bit of vulnerability and just makes that much bigger impact for everybody.
Agreed. Yeah, she's one of my favorite people. So she kicked us off, and then we had Josie Sewell, and Josie is a coach. She has worked with many DSOs, and she basically trains a lot of the teams, like the big teams, on how to become a really profitable machine.
Mm-hmm.
And she it was really cool what she did. She had 2 hours where it was more like she spoke for a little bit, but then there was workshop time
Mm-hmm.
baked in. So in the tables, you everyone was able to collaborate and like write down their answers to these prompts, and then as a group later on have a discussion about what they wrote
Yeah.
about. And I was not participating because I was currently thinking about what I was going to speak on.
Oh, well, that's a good transition you made. So, and then it was you.
Yeah,
So you kind of you
in
closed
the
out
back of the room,
in the back of the room. You were
throwing slides together.
while everybody was workshopping, and the workshop actually was really well received. I think when you first had the idea to do that, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical.
Mm.
I think you knew that. I think I said that pretty straightforward. Um, but I think that it was extremely well received. I
I
think
think you're
people
a natural
skeptic.
skeptic.
Well, we'll we'll save that conversation for another day. Um, but but it was there's so many people that I think just really liked that time to think about things,
Hmm.
especially after all of the talks and conversations that already
From
happened
yesterday,
from the
yeah.
yeah, and then a little bit of time to think about it, and then kind of more time with their groups to be able to dive a little bit deeper, learn more about each other, learn more about themselves through that conversation. So yeah, I think it was definitely a very well received portion of our growth seminar. And then you close it out, wrapped it all up,
Yeah, I
put
tried
put a bow on it. You actually started your speech by saying, "I'm going to try my best to
to wrap this,
wrap this all up
put a
and
pretty bow.
put a pretty bow
Yeah.
on it."
How do you think I did?
I I mean, you're okay. You're all right.
I'm not gonna talk about myself, so this is gonna be the shortest segment. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anybody who hasn't seen you speak, I don't know what you're doing. You listen to this podcast. How can you not have seen Ashley speak by now? That's the dumbest thing in the world. But you're an incredible speaker. Whether or not you have something planned, it always seems to work itself out. And obviously, I think most people know that even when you're trying to not be emotional, you'll find a way to tug at everybody's
Mm.
emotions. And so, there was definitely um, quite a few people reaching for some tissue, and a lot of dudes that were pretending to yawn and think that they say that there was something in their eyes, because you just have that effect on people. But I think you did a really good job of kind of tying it all together, wrapping it up, and I think at the end of the day, your conversation was on this idea of growth and what is growth, and is at the end of the day, is growth really about necessarily making more money, or is growth about understanding who we are and what we want in life?
Hmm.
And I think that was the take home of your talk for me. I think that's what most people got out of it. And, I'm reading a lot of the messages afterwards. That is the thing that I think it was nice, right? It kind of tied up, and from the very beginning with Scott starting off, and I think he did a really good job of really talking about that balance, much
Hmm.
more than a lot of his past talks have talked about it, where he is talking about, like, okay, well, what is it that makes you happy? Because at the end of the day, if we're doesn't matter what you're building, you want to build it for you, right?
Hmm.
And then and all the way through it to you kind of wrapping that up with a bow of, like, look, sometimes growth isn't what we all think it is, and the growth that we need is the growth to really, I don't know,
Scale back
yeah,
sometimes.
or just own what we actually want, right?
Yeah.
And just because it's something that maybe not everybody wants, or maybe somebody might say that you can do this or you can do that better, or you can grow here. If that's not what's actually filling your cup and fulfilling you, you know, that's
It's
the
the
fulfill.
woman in the red dress.
Yeah, right. The fulfillment is the goal. You know, the money or making a successful business or doing those things. Those are just part of it,
Mm.
and really they're just means to help you to get to that fulfillment side. So I think it was fantastic. And then we had this amazing woman show up in an orange jumpsuit who quite literally scared and I think just made everybody think that we were crazy because we gave her a microphone and put her in front of everybody. And she was,
She looked like Orange is the New Black.
yeah, I mean, she looked like she escaped from jail and she
Yeah.
kind of acted like she was a little
She was
crazy.
so funny.
She
She
was,
flew in from Chicago.
yes. I hope she wasn't wearing that orange jumpsuit on the plane. Um, but she led a scavenger hunt,
So
which,
fun.
I mean, can can we talk about how when everybody got in the room, there was nothing but skeptical eyes, and I think people were a little taken aback by us having somebody with an orange jumpsuit
Mm.
giving them,
Yeah.
giving them instructions and telling
Yes.
them about this game,
Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cheesy.
and boy, was that hilarious.
I think it so everybody in the room were randomly given a number, and then all of the ones became a team, all of the twos, threes, all of that. I think there was some cheating involved
There was a couple of husband wives that,
that did not want to separate.
yeah,
I didn't play, Colin didn't play.
you made me play.
Yeah, because it's fun. But Colin and I, we wanted to oversee all the
Mm,
teams. And it's really cool because obviously, day one or from the welcome reception, you're starting to get to know some new people, make some new friends. And then we go to a ranch and then we hang out there, and then the friendships, deepen. And then the third day you're thinking, okay, now I'm going to be paired up with people like you're still kind of getting a feel for them,
yeah,
and putting yourself into like really wild and crazy
awkward
awkward
situations.
situations. It was amazing seeing how the teams just like came out of their shells. Like even the people who are more reserved, like soft spoken, like you don't think that they really like, let their personalities show. They were doing some pretty funny things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the scavenger hunt had people going around, you know, recording dancing videos,
Hmm.
silly poses everywhere. There was battles between the groups, um,
Getting strangers to dance.
getting strangers to dance. I mean, it was pretty hilarious. So we had 50 dentists and significant others running around Vail Village, causing a ruckus. I mean,
Doing adult thumb wrestling. That was I You should have. I think the funniest thing for me, since I wasn't in any of the teams, was looking at all of the spectators watching the chaos that was
uh,
ensued.
I mean, there was a lot of. I mean, the number of people that took pictures of us doing stupid things
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh,
Uh,
the best was, I think there was some twerking that was happening in front of a Michelin restaurant. So,
yes, there was a lot of things that were happening right outside of said Michelin starred restaurant.
yeah,
Um, but that's what they get because we went there before and we were not impressed.
that's so
So
true.
you had people twerking out your back window.
That's right.
Take that.
Take that. Yeah.
But yes, it was a lot of fun. It was a very close game. I think it was a little rigged at the end. I'm not
And what
sure.
place did you guys get?
We got last place, and amazingly, the lady started by drum rolling and then announcing our team, and my team lost their mind cheering and going crazy,
Yeah.
and she's like, congratulations, you got whatever number of points and came in last place. And it was the
Oh, it
most
was,
amazing letdown that
oh
you'll
my
ever see.
gosh. You should have seen it. It was crazy. Yeah. It was so funny.
It's true,
Um, yeah.
but a lot of fun. I think people really, you know hopefully made much better friends because of it, because of sitting around doing silly, ridiculous things with other people. A lot of people were able to just kind of come out of their shell a little bit, or do something a little out of character for them.
Especially for type A high strung dentists. Like this was so fun.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was good. And then we had our classic send off dinner,
Yes.
which
The
was
one gripe, freaking Mother Nature, it started raining.
how dare you, Mother Nature.
The weather was gorgeous the day before, and then it started to rain
Yeah,
for our finale dinner, which was supposed to be at the pool, by the fireplace, under the stars. But
they moved it inside, and it was fantastic.
yeah,
I don't know that anybody knew the difference, other than the fact that you were telling people that it was going to be outside. Um,
yeah,
but they did a great job of setting things up inside. Another amazing meal. I feel like I got shamed by Bryce at that meal
for
because
how much meat you gave
he
him.
was like, "I can't believe how much meat you ate." And I was like, "Dude, I got to get my proteins. Don't you know we're starting a wellness podcast? Got to get my proteins in."
Yeah.
But I mean, he gave me a look. I'm still kind of offended. Bryce, if you're listening, I was offended.
Well, Brooke and Bryce, guys, if you don't know Brooke and Bryce, they are my favorite DIY home improvement couple. And Bryce is an orthodontist, and they started this side hustle of like his wife, his beautiful wife is Brooke, and she's a contractor. So Bryce designs, like when he's not fixing adult teeth, making them straighter and more beautiful, he's designing spaces, and then Brooke builds them. Like they're a freaking powerhouse duo. And then they got picked up by Josh and Joanna Gaines.
Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh,
Josh
Chip.
and Joanna are our friends.
Oh, yes, yes,
Shout out
yes.
to Josh and Joanna
Yes, we love
Scott,
you.
not the
See,
Gaines,
always on my
but
mind.
another one.
Yes.
Um,
Chip and Joanna
yeah,
Gaines.
yeah. We saw them on Magnolia Network, and if you haven't seen the show, Magnolia Network, HBO Max or
It's called
whatever it
Making
is,
Modern.
check it out. But yeah, they hang out, amazing folks. Except for Bryce kept making fun of me at the dinner. Um, but then yeah, and then we did what our group does best, which is
We brought the
party.
house down.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, brought the house
yeah.
down. That's for darn sure. We know
We all
we
agree.
added a little bit of line dancing in because everybody learned the line
Yeah.
dancing. So line dancing was a new thing that was not done at prior events, but you know, old school hip hop and R&B,
Yeah.
was flowing because
The pony
that's what
routine.
we do, and it was it was as amazing as any of the farewell dinners have been. You know, Ash likes to say that it's our we get to throw a new wedding every year, and
Yeah.
that's our that's our big send off is the finale dinner, and this one definitely did not disappoint.
No, it was so much fun, and just seeing old friends, making new friends. Just our community is so special, and
Yeah,
if you're looking for a group where there quite literally are no judgments, like everybody just comes as they are, has a ton of fun, and isn't afraid of sharing, the highs and lows of what's happening in their lives and in their practices, then come be a part of our tribe. We'd love to have you.
yeah. You asked me what my favorite part was earlier. I think you did. My favorite part is actually always reading
Yeah.
everybody's feedback afterwards.
Yeah.
Personal feedback that they send to you or to the making of account, or the things that they're willing to share afterwards, their experience, how it made them feel. Thankfully, I think our tribe is, because of the openness and the vulnerability that has built into the group. I think a lot of people feel very open about sharing the experience, and I personally love that so much. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't think that we started this, and when you started this and you said this was the idea, I never would have thought that like ride home and the next day of seeing all of the responses was going to be something that um, was so impactful to me.
Mm.
And so I think that's pretty cool. So it is always fun to be able to see how you guys received it, how everybody who came kind of processed it. And so I think that's a pretty amazing thing.
I Thanks, honey. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's why we gotta keep doing it.
So how did you process it? You haven't actually said anything other than recapping. What are your what are your big takeaways from the event? What is your, I don't know, departing thoughts?
Um, well, I think it's pretty apparent that this is my favorite thing that we do every year. And it isn't even about the destinations or the food. It really is this feeling that, like, you leave with a bunch of new best friends. And I think that as dentists, we get in our heads a lot and we feel so siloed in our practices. And there aren't really a lot of things, depending on who your team is, right? Like, you can't share a lot of stuff that you're burdened with. Even with some office managers, you want to not have them worry if the numbers don't make sense, or nobody really understands exactly what we go through unless you're in a position going through it. And yeah, it's just, it really is that feeling of fulfillment that I have every time we do this. No matter how crazy life is, I feel like retreat really does center us. And I know it sounds really cheesy, especially if you haven't been to the retreat, but I think there's a reason why it's it's something that people keep coming back to, and it's so impactful. Um, yeah, I love it so much.
Here, here. Well, I love watching you through it, and I know that we've had way too many conversations about what this community and what this event mean to you. And so I am always happy to hear you at least say that out loud, because I think many times you try to forget those things in, just the stress of life, right?
Yeah.
And so there's always a lot of things going on, and a lot of things that take up time and energy and resources. And, you know, this is one of those things that, at the end of the day is, definitely not going to be as, ROI positive from a, dollars and cents standpoint as, scoring a couple of smile designs and all that fun
Mm,
stuff. But in terms of that fulfillment part, which, as we talked about earlier, what's the point of growing if we're not figuring out what the actual point of it all is?
yeah.
Um, I love this for you. I love being a part of it. I appreciate you letting me be a part of it and inviting me into this community. So thank you from everybody that was there, because I think that that's a very universal thing, that everybody appreciates what you have helped put together and the people that you've brought together, because it is a very special place that is, you know, hard to imagine being replicated anywhere else.
And thank you, Colin, for doing all of the heavy lifting. Like, all the emails, the contracts, talking to everybody from point A to point Z, all the details. That was all Colin. And she's actually at the Folsom office right now trying to organize that office. So she's not here with us recording, but Colin loves this. We all love this, and we all love you to be a part of this.
So follow along on all the socials. Obviously, join the group. We'll be posting more of the highlight reels into the group, and continuing the conversation. And we'll be figuring out what's up for Retreat 2025. So keep your ears tuned.
Yeah.
All right. You want to sign us out?
All right. Thanks, guys, for listening to another episode of The Making of from the comfort of our couch. And
Oh, yeah. By the way, if you're watching, look at our cool swag.
Vail.
Oh, yeah.
It
Oh,
says
yeah.
Vail. Yes. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next